I looked down and checked my phone, and guess what had happened? My friend group was voting on kicking me out. And guess what the vote was? They decided that I should stay. But I left the friend group anyways. Because it was at that moment that I realized that shit friends was not going to be a part of my life. And that's when everything changed. Because look now, I've got amazing friends. And here's some photos. By the end of this video, you'll know if you have shit friends and how to make the really good friends. Because bro, you have no idea how much shit friends will be holding you back. When I left all my bad friends, I started going to group meetups. I went to the cinema with a bunch of guys and girls, like different groups, like 3, 4, 5 times in within a few months. I went over to this girl's house once. I went out on boat days with a bunch of guys and girls. Once my friend and we met up with these 2 girls and we were climbing across rooftops and shit. And bro, I just had a fucking blast of a time. And that was before I found my new friend group and did way more cool shit. I went to a hotel room with a bunch of people, 50, 100 people meetups, parties, sleepovers, sneaking out a lot. All this fun that I had only came after I got rid of the shit friends. And I finally felt comfortable with trusting of my friends. I'm Finn and I help young guys make amazing friends. And so here, I'm gonna first of all start this by helping you understand if you do have a shit friend. Because most people, they don't even realize they have horrible friends around them. These people, they used to make fun of me. They used to raise my hand in class. They'd make fun of me when I made like good or bad answer. They'd call me stupid all the time. They'd make fun of me for talking to more people, being more social, trying to improve. When I met friends outside of my school, everybody gave me so much shit. When somebody makes fun of you constantly, but especially for like doing really good shit, they're honestly a shit person. They're not a real friend. Because there's a way to test this, because sometimes people are just joking. So once I went up to this guy and I was like, yo bro, I really don't appreciate you saying all these things about me. Like it makes me feel really horrible. And he was just like, shut the fuck up bro. It's not funny bro. You're just being soft. And he fucking gaslit me into thinking that I'd done something wrong when I hadn't. And so when somebody's making fun of you like this, for you doing good things, you gotta get rid of that guy. He's a cunt. Once I told my friends, I started going to the gym, I started meditating. And all of them reacted well, except for this guy and a few people. And I never really talked to them after that, because I knew that if I was going to be trying to get in these good habits and people were like disrespecting it, calling it cringe, I was going to find it way harder. I was already struggling with like getting consistent in these habits without them. Even years later, after this guy made fun of me and after all the dumb, horrible shit he'd said about me and all the dickhead moves he's pulled on me, I was at this party and I was like having a laugh. Everybody was like finding me funny. I was like, talking to everybody. And this guy, he still fucking found a problem with me somehow. I don't know how. He just had something against me for no reason. He still couldn't view me in a new light years later. And that's how I knew he wasn't a good bloke. Bro, I want to make it really obvious. I want to make it really clear. I only blew up my social life when I left this shit friend group with that guy included that I was telling you about. When you have great friends, absolutely everything's different. This one time, I was on a night out with a bunch of my mates and we bumped in this guy. I was like, yo, what's your name, bro? Nice to meet you. It's like, yo, what's your name? And when I said my name, he was like, yo, I feel like this guy, Chris, he was saying like mean shit about you. He was like talking horribly about you. I was like, I've just fucking burst out laughing at this guy. I was like, bro, you fucking joke, man. That's my best mate. He's like really fucking confused and lost here. I'm like, are you stupid, bro? That guy would never fucking talk shit about me. And I literally rung him on the spot because I knew that he hadn't talked shit about me. He picked up, I was like, look, this fuckwit's trying to say that you were making fun of me. And we were fucking had a laugh at him. Because obviously he wasn't talking badly about me. He was a great friend of mine. He would have never fucking done that. When you have great friends, you're just so confident in them. You didn't say anything behind your back. You love their company and it's fun as fuck to hang out with them. But let's get into actually how to make really good friends. First, the places where you need to go. I used to play cricket and I was like really antisocial kid. I was also really young, but I was really antisocial. And there was this 15 people in my cricket group and we would train all the time. But I still made good friends because first of all, everybody in your sports group is going to be your age, especially if you know like team sport like cricket. And so I made friends even as an awkward guy who hardly did anything just because I was in the team. I was really antisocial, but it still worked. There's this one time I was at the gym and there was this guy who I had played basketball, like gym and a basketball court's connected. I'd played basketball with this guy a year ago. And like a year and a half later, 2 years later, he was in the gym. I was like, yo, it's good to see you, bro. I remember we played basketball that one time and we had a great chat and he was like, yo, a lot's happened and we had an amazing time and he felt like such a great person because he said, yo bro, I really respect you. You're in here, you're working hard, training hard. Good on you, man. You're putting on some size. Even though I had no fucking muscle on my body. But he was like super encouraging, super kind, and super funny to be around. And I realized, like, bro, this is the kind of people that go to the gym. They're the top quality people. Hardly anyone has the discipline to go to the gym. If they have the discipline to go to the gym, they're probably going to be a really good person too. Be surrounded by great people and be really kind and friendly. People at gyms, martial arts, they're so fucking nice. They're so kind. They're so understanding and so supportive. They're always like, oh, you're good on you, bro, putting on some size. Like, they're the actual people who are really good quality. That's why I only put one place where you can meet really good people. There's other places where I've met really good people, and there's videos on them on my channel, but this is the best place if you want to meet like a proper high quality guy. If you want my personal help though, imagine you wake up every day super happy and you're planning to go out with your friends tonight, you're hyped up about it all day. You go out and it's as fucking hype as you thought it was going to be. You're all laughing, getting some food, having a great... and you're just with your boys and all of you laughing and having a great time. Well, if you want my help getting more nights like that, or actually getting that for your first time, just click the link in the description. I'll do as much as I can to help make sure that happens. But when you basically go to one of these places like gym or martial arts group, you want to be talking to people. And the thing that helped me so much with conversations, it basically, as a snap of the finger, I got better at talking to people. Well, let me tell you a story of an example of this. I was walking and there was these three girls. I was like, hey, what do you think of the movie in class at the moment? And we walked toward class, but it was like a decently long walk and we just ran out of things to say. And I was fine with that. It went silent for like a bit, but it was fine, longer than I counted. And then I was relaxed, I was fine with it. And so I just started another conversation. I was like, yeah, so what did you do this holiday? And we had a good chat about that. And then it happened again, we went silent. Then I can't, like, just by me being so relaxed and comfortable with that silence, we just had a great conversation. We had to cut the convo short at the end because we got in a really good conversation right before we got to class. But it made it pleasant by me being all right with silence. But there was this one time I wasn't all right with silence. I was walking to one of my classes with this one girl and we were talking a bit, but I was not comfortable with silence in the slightest. And we went silent and I started to stress out. I started thinking, oh, what do I say? And I started like, worrying a fuck ton. I wasn't comfortable with silence. And what ended up happening was the words that came out of my mouth sounded stupid. I stuttered a fuck ton. I sounded like an idiot and it was awkward as fuck because I wasn't okay with silence. There's a clear difference in the two scenarios. One scenario I was fine with silence. One scenario I wasn't. Because if you're just fine with the conversation going silent, it's going to go silent less often anyways. And even when it does, it's not going to be a big deal and it'll be fine if you just start a new convo. And in the first place, if I was silent the whole walk, it wouldn't have been a big deal either. I would have just said like, bye, hope you enjoy the movie that we're watching in class. And then it would have been completely fine. And they wouldn't have given a fuck. Like, oh yeah, he's just not talking that much today. Or nobody would have cared. Maybe someone just thought, sometimes if you don't talk, like people, oh, he's just a bit quiet. Nobody fucking cares if you don't speak that much. So don't worry about conversations going silent. It's still good to start conversation, but I'm saying be okay with the conversations ending and there being a silence. I was with these two girls once and a belief that I had that you always need to be talking just got fucking shattered down the drain. Because I was with these two girls, we're hanging out, having a good chat, but always, like every fucking few minutes, we would just not speak for a minute. Now, it didn't happen that much, but it happened like when we had first met up. A lot of the time they weren't speaking to each other. A lot of the time I wasn't speaking to them. A lot of the time there was silence going on and it was fucking fine. I still had an amazing night and I talked to all of them, had a great time. I really enjoyed that night, by the way. And it was kind of like, I was looking at this girl, she's like quite a shy girl and she was just fine with not speaking. And somehow that made it so that she was basically better at being social than me. Even though she's genuinely such a shy person, she was fucking better than me socially because I was so worried about talking all the time. View conversation is great if it comes. It's an amazing part of life. But you're gonna have better conversations if you're relaxed and you're fine with it going silent. And it's not a big deal if things go silent anyways. Yes, put in the effort to start new conversations. But no, don't worry about things going silent. So as an example of when I met a guy, there was this guy in the gym once and I saw him for like a few sets and then I just went up to him. I was like, hey bro, what's your name? I haven't seen you here before. We had like a brief chat. I was like, oh yeah, so where do you live? Like school? I asked him a few questions, brief questions, and had like a decent chat about that because he was actually quite a friendly guy. And then I just asked him something that we both had in common because we were both in the gym. How long have you been going to the gym? And bro, that was like a great conversation starter. These are like basic mannerisms of having a good conversation, but that's usually only for the first time you meet somebody. Because this tip that I'm about to share with you, I'm going to tell you a story of when I learned it. It transformed my speaking abilities. It's transformed other guys' speaking abilities. It's probably the fucking best tip you could ever get. So there was this girl that I would hang out with all the time, and we would get along really well. And whenever we would hang out, she'd start learning the alphabet or doing some weird shit. Not like incessantly, but every now and then she would talk so much about herself, it's actually unreal. She'd be like, oh, this girl at school today, and then that thing happened with the train. And she would tell me all these stories and things that were going on with her with no shame. And I fucking enjoyed her company so much. She was such a fun and social person. It seemed like she got along well with absolutely anybody. And then I realized she just didn't give a fuck about what she was talking about. She wasn't worried about if somebody was going to judge what she would say. And by doing that, people didn't judge what she said. And that's when I realized, like, just fucking talk about yourself openly. Just be like, yeah, today, I just did a good workout this morning, because people won't judge you for. Second of all, people will like you more for that, because then you will be way more social if you're talking about what you want to talk about. And third of all, bro, it just reduces so much stress, because now you don't have so many barriers of what you can't talk about. I'm not saying say some weird shit. I'm saying just talk about your own experiences and like, oh yeah, I went to the gym today, or like, oh yeah, I went out with my friends last weekend, that was really fun. And then you just tell stories. Talk about things that you're interested in. I'm reading this book and it said that. And when you do that, it's so much easier to have great conversations. So put this all together, right? When you see somebody, chill out, relax, say hi to them, basic mannerisms, shake their hand, hey man, how you doing? And then just talk freely. And whenever the conversation goes silent, be fine with it. Be like, if it goes silent, just be like, it's nice to talk, I'm gonna go do my next set. And then you come back, you start talking about something new, like no pressure at all. Be fine with things going silent. You're walking with this group, you run out of things to say. It's okay, just don't say anything. No problem with that at all. Because if humans could speak non-stop every day, you would be able to tell. Because you wouldn't be quiet in class, you wouldn't see kids going to the library and studying. Because almost nobody can hold a conversation all day. But if you're struggling, bro, I completely understand that. And if you want my help with that, my personal advice, click the link in the description below and we'll have a chat there. But there was this time where I'd been out in a long time, I'd been away, and I wanted to be more social again, and I wasn't really allowed to go many places. I was grounded at that time. And so what I did was I started hanging out with the friends I already knew, because I was comfortable with that already. I started smiling at more people when I'd walk by for a few days. Then I started this conversation with this older person on the train. It's easy to talk to old people, in my opinion. I started talking to more people, smiling. It started by just saying hi to more people. Then I started saying, hey, how are you? Then I started like, oh, hey, how was your weekend? Having more longer conversations, talking to as many people as I could. And by just me starting at a small level, just like messaging a friend that I'm really close with, we should catch up to soon. Just like getting more comfortable with being around other people and having conversations. I became so much more social, even though it seemed like a negligible difference of me going out. And dude, this did the magic for me. I started to be able to talk to way more people way easier. It was a massive difference. When I started doing this, what I didn't tell you about, like, remember when I said all that fun shit that happened? I left the friend group. And I slowly had to start making more and more friends. I slowly had to start going out, reaching out to the people in my network, meeting new people. I had to slowly do that. And eventually I'd started small. I'd started talking to so many people that eventually by me starting small, I'd gone big and talked to so many people and become such a good conversationalist. Then I was in the gym once. And so after I'd done this trick for about a week, I was in the gym and I saw somebody and I introduced myself, had an amazing chat, and he's my friend now. And it was just fucking easy because because for some people it doesn't come naturally, you know? So I did this and I made some great friends after. The last thing you should be doing, that is like biggest difference of if you're gonna have good friends or not, even if you're talking to everybody, even if you're extremely social. There's this guy that I know, he's so social. He's so fun to be around, but he hardly has any friends. He feels like a loser. Bro, the reason is because he doesn't invite anybody to hang out, to do anything. And so I'm going to tell you how and why you should be inviting everybody that you have a conversation with to meet up and do something fun. I was surprised by this. I invited this guy to hang out and he seemed like he was in a bad mood. He seemed sour. He was like, we should do that. Straight face. And then we hung out and we had a fucking awesome time, bro. We had such a great time. And he was way more fun. He was way more fun when I hung out with him personally. Because he was probably just having a bad day, or maybe something bad happened, or he was in a shit mood. It's hard to tell, but the point is, like, even though this guy seemed kind of sad, I just invited him to hang out. And maybe sometimes people aren't comfortable immediately, so they're not as fun to be around. But we got comfortable and we had an amazing time together. There's another time when, it was like recently actually, there was this group of girls that I'd been talking to. Basically the last 2 times I went on holidays, I'd always see these girls. We talk quite a decent bit, and I had their contacts and everything, and I messaged one of them and I was like, yo, you should join this group of us, we're gonna meet up tomorrow night. And I messaged these 2 other girls who I also hadn't spoken to in a long time. And so basically there was like a big group gonna be planned, and I brought one of my friends with me. And I'm not gonna lie to you, bro, at first I wasn't even sure they were gonna respond or if they could come, but that was just me being insecure, and everybody's like that. Everybody underestimates how many people would come to our invitation. And so like these girls, we met up later in that night and we had a great time. Like, it didn't end up being so formation, like where, oh yeah, meet me at this spot. Like, we ended up going to some other place and we bumped into all the people that I'd invited, and it was a bit like a confused meetup. It was really fun because they did end up coming and we had like great chat and everything. Imagine if I just didn't ask, then we wouldn't have had that great chat. I wouldn't have bumped into them. I wouldn't have been with them and talking to them and shit. They were actually super hyped to meet up with me, even though it didn't feel like it was that way. There's this guy, I used to always ask him to hang out, and he always just responded like, nah, I'm sorry, I'm busy at the moment, I can't really make it. I definitely asked way too many times, but he would never be a dick about it. He would just be like, yo, sorry bro, I've got something on. He would just come up with some random excuse that probably wasn't true. And there's a lot of people who did this to me, and it's perfectly fine, bro, because even this one time, this guy who I literally asked him 5 times to hang out, and then on the 6th time, he actually came and we had an amazing time together. But felt like I was asking quite a lot. But the thing is, bro, it didn't matter because this guy came and met me anyways. And all the other people, they just like slowly stopped responding, or like they just like let me down nicely, like, oh, sorry bro, I would love to, but I can't make it. Nobody's ever gonna take it as an insult, as you wanting to hang out with them. They just see it as like them liking your company. And so, bro, it's simple. I've made it really simple for you. I've taught you how to have better conversations, the best places for you to go, what to do. Even if you're talking to a lot of people and you're not making good friends, then you invite more people. Just go for it. I've told you so many stories of how people don't even take invitations badly. People really like to be invited to shit, and people are so likely to come and join you on a group. If you're going out with a group of guys and girls, it's gonna be super fun. You got all this planned. Then you invite someone along, they're so likely, almost 100% to come, even if they didn't enjoy your company, even if you appeared awkward, just because the idea sounds so fun. And I've taught you it all, but now it's up to you, bro. Do you want to genuinely make a difference? Do you genuinely want a difference in your life where you have good friends and you have a great time and you enjoy amazing experiences? Do you want to struggle with making friends or not? Well, if you don't, if you watch this whole video, you've consumed so much content, you know what to do. Go to one of these sports meetups. Go book it right now. Search whatever your sport is, cricket group meetups or cricket teams, and just go join it. Go turn up to a trial. Go say hi to the coaches. Just go to the gym, and when you're there, talk to somebody who's your age. Like, hey man, I haven't seen you before. I've taught you all you need to know, bro. Just you go up to somebody, casual greeting, and then you like talk about what's been going on, and you're fine with talking about whatever. Start small. If it's hard, just start by smiling at people, just start saying hi, don't even need to start conversations. And then eventually, bro, you'll be chilling, you'll be making really good friends. So take action. Go to a place where there's people your age. Go to a sports place. Fucking do it. Otherwise, you're not gonna get any results. And go and talk to people there. And have the balls to invite them to do shit. And I fucking guarantee you're gonna make good friends. But if you need any more help with that, click the link in the description. I'll help you personally.